Okay. Alright. So, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to a little discussion video for everybody who has seen the title and I guess they want to know more about it. This is one of those topics where it's like, why? You know, like you ask the questions why over and over and over again, and you'll never get an answer from the person you're asking directly. It'll always just be just action being done with no explanation at all. And obviously, if you read the title, you guys know what this is about. But if you don't know what this is about, if you just click the damn video, then I'll just explain. So Nintendo, they don't like fan games. They don't like hacks. They don't like ROMs. They don't like anything that's fan funded, fan sourced. They don't like that shit. They don't like that shit at all. They actually hate when people like make money off their stuff. They actually hate when people take assets from their, I guess, resources in video games and basically make their own creative approach to it. They hate that shit. Nintendo, for a while now, I want to say over the past like maybe 4 or 5 years, has been tracking down a lot of fan game content. If anything, they are probably, I don't want to say this because I'm not really sure off the top of my head right now. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of companies that do this stuff, but at the first glance, they are the first and only, I guess, company that I have seen that doesn't embrace their community. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why it's like this, but they do this. They shut down. They've sent out serious claims and stuff to these people who have done nothing but love their games, who have done nothing but, you know, I guess, embrace their games and add their own creative touch to it. They've done a lot of stuff, and it's always aggravated me because I just never understood why. You know, the same thing happened to Pokemon Uranium, for example. The same thing happened to Pokemon Fusion Generations, Pokemon Prism. They all received letters and claims from Nintendo basically shutting down the projects, and then you'll automatically see said projects somewhere on the internet on some like file sharing platform, and you'll never really know unless you go. It's not from like the official person. Like the official person can't distribute that shit at all, right? And so it'll end up on like mega.nz or Google Drive or some shit, or on one of these like third-party off-brand ass ROM hack and fan game websites, and like we're just like, okay, great, you know. It's like what can we do, you know? And it sucks because as somebody who I guess covers mostly fan games, even though this year has been primarily Nuzlocke, so that's neither here nor there. It's just one of those things where it's like, I just can't understand why. You know, there are a lot of fan games, there are a lot of ROM hacks that have been created by people of this Pokemon creative community or whatever, and you know, artists have been made known, like their talents have been shown through these entire like fan projects. And obviously you'll have like one of those projects that, you know, require like money or whatever, but those get taken down right away. If anything, those are like the ones that get taken down the most. And especially if you have it on like a website, they see that as like, oh, Google ads trafficking and stuff like that. It's weird, but there's so much data in between it, and it kind of sucks too, because, you know, you look at game companies who embrace like mods and stuff and whatnot, and, you know, you see how big and how dope the community is, how it's just different. Like if you see, for example, the Dragon Ball Xenoverse mod community or the Fighters mod community, we were able to make, you know, memes and all this extra funny dope stuff, and just putting the idea and creativity into something is just different, you know. And, you know, I take the same approach at Pokemon. You know, you look at Pokemon, you look at games like Pokemon Gaia, Pokemon Glazed, Pokemon Phoenix Rising, Pokemon Uranium, Light Platinum. There's just too many at this point. There's too many good fan games that have been made, and it's with the assets of Pokemon Essentials as well as the wiki. You know, all this wouldn't have never been done. It wouldn't have been done at all. So now, you know, obviously you can't stop a community of people who are going to continuously have this file on, you know what I'm saying, on their computers, and will continue to share this shit out on these other media platforms. You can't do anything about it. Obviously, you know, the main source is being taken down, and the actual file, I'm guessing, I don't know if it's ceasing development. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's more than likely just going to be taken off the website, and that's it. The website is down, by the way. And then I'm pretty sure they'll keep working on Pokemon Essentials, and it will keep being distributed between, I guess, developers to developers. But it's one of those things where it's like, why do we have to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like why do we have to play this game of cat and mouse when, you know, we are the community that, like, I guess embraces you? Like I understand, you know, pirating games. I get that. That's if anything, that's right to me. I get it. I understand if people are pirating my game, I don't want nobody to, like, use that shit. And if it's behind a paywall, like $60, I don't want nobody to use that shit either. But these are actual, like, fan games. Like, I'm talking about, I've seen games built from this ground up, and I've seen them completed and done, and I played them. And they're some of the best Pokemon content I have ever seen in my fucking life. So, they're so good. I would argue that some Pokemon fan games are better than the last 3 or 4 generations that have came out. That's why I play them more on my channel than I do random ass nuzzles that you've seen like 5 or 6 times. You know, I always get told, oh, Nick, you know, you run through games and oh, this is and that. But most of the time when they say that, it's on a lock of a game that they've already played literally 50 times, right? But then let's flip it. I can just bring out a whole new fan game, a whole new ROM that nobody has ever seen before, and not only will it do me good as a content creator, but it will give some publicity to somebody's creative approach to Pokemon, and we both do good. Everybody plays it, they experience it for themselves, and as a community we come together, and that's how we love Pokemon. That's what it is. Like, you can't expect people to I guess continue to support and like try to do all this thing when you're basically forcing them to buy the games. That's what they're doing. Like, it's like you can't, you're basically forcing everybody to buy the games. As if Pokemon isn't already the #1 selling, game franchise of all time. Or one of them, rather. Or one of or the highest form of media. Like we know this. We're gonna support it regardless. But why does that, you know, allow anything to just be like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you like the games? Oh yeah, it's cool and all, but no, you can't. Nah, nigga. Like, no. It's like, okay, great. And so now, like I said, Pokemon Essentials I'm pretty sure will be continued. I guess I don't know if it is or not, but I don't know how all this is gonna work or whatever, because it's actually really recent or whatever, right? Literally Pokemon Essentials will either, I guess, cease. It will either continue to keep going or whatever. You know, I guess it'll just keep going and nobody will have to know about it. We'll just continue to be getting it off these sites that, like, oh, require like 10 or 15 different ads to be disabled, you know? Like, it's annoying. It really is annoying. And there's not much we as a community can do. And I think that's the unfortunate thing about all of this, because, you know, you look at, like I said, you look at everything, I guess, from a fan and an audience approach, and you'll never see it as like a business thing. But in terms of business, I can completely understand why they're doing this. But it's one of those things where it's like, I look at other corporations and other companies and I see it and I'm like, you know, they embrace their community. They embrace that. I've seen some gaming communities take mods and actually make them into characters. Like, that's the funny thing about it. Like, it's just like, whoa, like, this is dope, you know? And it sucks too, because there are some, like I said, creative approaches to Pokemon. You know, I've seen systems that aren't even in Pokemon games, but there are in other RPGs being implemented in Pokemon, and that's some of the best shit I've ever played in my life, honestly. And so I think I look at this and I'm just like, it's like a foul taste in my mouth. And it's one of those things where it's like, why do we have to keep playing cat and mouse with Nintendo? I just will never understand it. I don't understand. Like, I get that they're like, most of their games are pirated anyway, but I guess from the audience standpoint, you know, it's just not fair. And, you know, as a content creator, you know, I see the distress, you know, discontentment with the community. I also see the business side of things as well. And it really does suck because unless you see both sides like Chanel, obviously your emotions are going to get in the way. But at the same time, it leans toward the question that I always have. And the question is, why? Like that's pretty much me. The question is why? And I don't know, we probably will never get into, that basis. We'll probably never ever get into that conversation at all with anybody from Nintendo. So unfortunately, I guess it's going to be it for the, I guess there's another L for the fan game community. Obviously they're not happy, and they're not just gonna let Nintendo do this shit to them. So however they decide to do that is however they decide to do that stuff. But I will continue to be supporting Pokemon fan games for the rest of the channel duration. I don't care about none of that extra shit that Nintendo tries to do, because I know they try to pull a lot of shady stuff under the radar that nobody knows about, and you'll never hear about it up until the fact that somebody comes to talk about it. And so I refuse to keep my mouth closed, just to keep good ties with Nintendo. I just cannot do that. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this little conversation. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Like I said, from the business standpoint, I can see why, but it's definitely not fair to the community that supports your games. And honestly, I can see 100% why the people themselves are outrageous at this stuff. So I think with that being said, that's gonna be it. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.
Light the leaf, we blowing tree, and you can call it therapy. Take a sip, or 2 or 3. I close my eyes, I feel at peace. Break down the weed, pass the Dutch, we putting on it. The fuck is up?